So does anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes. Well, after listening to Troy and listening to all you guys, it seems like we have some needs for personnel. I mean, just keeping up with things, watching what we've done over the last hard times, cutting back, letting go. Everybody's scrambling, everybody's holding it together, and I appreciate it. But then I look at the money, and just to get you guys a raise this year seems to be a challenge. I mean, if we take the 3%, we still don't get there. Oh, and you need capital. So how can I come up with something that's going to cost you more time and effort, and then eventually that's money? I mean, all the good ideas are great ideas, but the reality is we've kind of been in this survival for a while, and we've asked it of you guys, and you stepped up and did it. I mean, not taking a COLA is huge. You know, that means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to all of us and hopefully the citizens. You know, it just looks like another year where you just want to hold on and get through another year. And it helps to see that, you know, even as hard as things are, I don't want to say bad because Troy said things are better. Okay. But you know what? You still accomplish all this stuff. You guys still keep going forward. You come to work. You collaborate. Cool things are happening around here within our budget. And unfortunately, I'm kind of looking at it. It's always about the money. You know, I remember the good old days. And a lot of you were here, and we were kicking butt and taking names and thriving. And not that we're not thriving. We're thriving in a different way. And I just think maybe it's time to put you guys first this time around. And so then I would throw it to you and say, hey, if you don't want your 4%, 3%, whatever the COLA is, if you want to give back 1% and take it in capital, do you follow? It's like, here you go. It's you or some capital, or both, divided up. So I know that's kind of a strange place to be, but it just, I can't see it any other. I don't see any magic answers to this. And then the Obama thing coming, it's going to impact us. I'm on the EMS board, and guess what? It's really going to impact us. So I look at our 5%, $1.4 million that EMS gives to the city could not be there in a few years. Not quite that much. You know, it's going away too. So remember, on EMS is an income. We bill for riding an ambulance. So when they give you less money to ride in an ambulance, guess what? You get less money that we have to give to the city. So again, it's all not happy stuff, but you know, I would like to throw it to you guys and see how you guys look at it. You know, you're probably long overdue for something, but then you guys have stepped up before, so you know, it's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. Other councilman? Rod?
Yeah, I would just like to thank all of you for all the hard work that you do and the people that work for you. I think you guys do an excellent job here in the city of Coeur d'Alene, and I'm proud of what you do. Thank you.
Anybody? Dan?
Thank you. Yeah, just to echo what Woody says, I mean, there's a math problem here in that you have a COLA and then you have a merit pay increase or bonus on top of that, which is 3% plus 5%, 8%. We're only allowed to raise taxes a maximum of 3% every year, which means this problem's not going away. We're going to have to deal with it some way. The thing I mentioned last time, and I'll mention it this time, make me Mr. Unpopular, is if we folded the LCDC, we would probably get a few $1 million extra every year for our budget, which is the reason why we're always going to have this problem, because we have an urban renewal agency that takes money away from us, as well as other taxing entities throughout the county. And I know, yes, the argument is made that LCDC, well, it brought us the library and it brought us this and that. But right now, it's being abused and being used as a bank to fund something that should have gone to the voters. And that would have solved that problem. And then we'd have my guesstimate is about $3 million extra a year in our budget to fund our capital improvements. And then the wages wouldn't be an issue. Well, it would be something we kick down the road, but it would be something we could do. And by my estimates, even if the council does change to agree with me next time, and we do shutter the LCDC, it's still going to take about 3 years to unwind the LCDC's debt. So that's not an immediate solution. I wrote down some other ideas throughout the year to mention at this meeting, and I don't know whether this is proper for this venue or not, but I think the city needs to look into whether or not we need to keep our self-insurance fund. I mean, philosophically, yes, it's working. I mean, it funds our insurance, and there's a cost that we have to look at, how much it's going to cost us to go with iCrimp versus self-insuring. But I think there's a philosophical attitude about having the self-insurance fund that makes the city a little bit more timid to deal with some of these situations, where if someone else was handling our insurance, we wouldn't be like, oh my God, we have to be careful because we might, have to spend money out of the self-insurance fund. So the attitude is, are we doing what's right, or are we doing something to protect the self-insurance fund? And I think that should be looked at. I think the structure needs to be looked at as far as the hierarchy of how the organizational tree works within the city. I'm not sure that I think what's working now is working. I think, it's evident because there's a communications committee now. So communications isn't happening. And I know there was a big issue last October with communications between administration and the council. And I think a lot of that could be fixed if maybe we took a look at how the city is organized and maybe consider going back to having major departments within the city and then sub-departments underneath them. Individually, I would prefer that McEwen Field financing went back on our books. It would be nice to know how much McEwen Field cost as a reference for future councils. I've been asking for a policy manual for a long time. I think that would help everyone with a lot of stuff we deal with, because we would be able to point to a policy manual and say, this is why we do things the way we do things. It's in the policy manual. And that would really protect a lot of people and solve a lot of issues. Let's see what else I could bring up, if I'm not being Mr. Popular all of a sudden. We have some retirements coming up, and I think one of the most crucial one of these is our police chief. And I'm very disappointed that administration seems to be dragging their feet on this. It is so important that we have a good quality police chief, as Chief Longo has demonstrated. We need someone good in that position. And yet it seems like the attitude is, and I've discussed this with the mayor, is like, well, let's wait. We may be getting a new council and a new mayor, and we need to wait on that. No, we need to do it now. We cannot run this business like, oh, we have to wait, there's going to be an election. There's always going to be an election every 2 years. We need to move forward. We need to have that momentum. We need to go. And the guys on the police force, they want a new chief, and they want us to expedite that process, and I think we should. I think that's pretty much it. I have some other stuff, and of course this is getting nitpicky, but it's also very heartening to me because a lot of the things that I had on my list were addressed, and I appreciate that, because it means we're all looking at the situation together and what we can do to help provide the services that people want when they live in the city. So, and I thank you all, like Ron said, thank you all for your work for the city. I do appreciate it. You guys get a lot of compliments out there. A lot of people are very happy to live here, and I thank you specifically and the people who aren't here for making that happen.
Anyone else? Steve?
Councilman Goodlander, I too just wanted to thank all of you guys for your dedication, your hard work as a citizen, a lifelong citizen of Coeur d'Alene. It's easy to be critical when you see certain things going on around the city, or read certain things in the paper, or hear things from your neighbors. But as a councilman and having the opportunity to be a part of the inner workings and to get to know people and put faces and personalities and all that together, then it makes it a little harder to be critical for sure. But I didn't, run for council to make new friends. So as Dan pointed out, a lot of this stuff is really tough once you do get to know people. And as Dan pointed out, the math doesn't work. And so knowing, what strong personalities, hardworking, dedicated individuals there are, I'm with Woody. I'm certainly open to any suggestions, but I think there's going to have to be some compromise. And whether it be through benefits, pay grade restructuring, then it's going to take some sacrifice and some hard work. So, but I'm open, willing, and ready to put in the hard work alongside with all of you. So I'm going to go back through the presentation. Made a lot of mental notes, but I'm going to go back through it, and I'm going to put probably a couple hours into it, and I'm going to come up with some top priority stuff of what I would suggest. So there's just a few of you probably that I'll contact directly, but like I said, you have my number. Call me anytime. I'd be happy to meet with you.
All right. I guess that leaves me. And hopefully we'll end on a positive note here. I want you all to know that I personally respect each of you. I believe that you know what you need. I believe you know your job. I believe you know what you need to do the best job. And so I'm going to listen to what you have to say. I'm going to do my very best to see to it that we are able to manage the city in a positive manner. I think that we do. I think the folks out there think we're amazing, and they're right. We are. You are amazing. You are skilled. You are talented. You know your work. You know your business, and you represent us well in this community, and I want to thank you for that. On the other hand, I think there are some details here that have been discussed. I'm not too sure that this is necessarily the venue to do that. Obviously, we all have to work together. We've worked together in the past. We've accomplished great things. We will continue to work together. We will continue to make things in a positive manner for all of us. There may be some giving, there's going to be some taking, there's going to be some things that work, some things that don't work, but my goal and my respect for you shows that we can do that, and we will do that. I thank you. I thank you all. I'm grateful for you both as a citizen, and I'm very grateful for you as a councilman, because I walk tall in this town because of you. Thank you.
Make a motion, we adjourn.